little note about standing. Yes? What do you often find? Most people have a faulty sense of how to stand in alignment. And when you ask perhaps 3 different individuals to stand up straight, what you would actually see is their own interpretation of what it means to them to stand up straight. And of course we are dealing with this important breathing area, this area here, yeah, which represents 70% of the lungs capacity. If I'm not working well with this area of my back, then I'm only utilizing 30% here, yeah. You find that this natural movement of the ribs, the floating ribs, simply cease to happen, yeah, if I'm overarching or if I'm slouching, depending of the type of misuse. We, Alexander teacher, use the term misuse, inappropriate amount of muscular tension being used. But what you often see when people stand, there's various variation, yeah, but usually the knees get locked, the hips get pulled forward, yeah, and basically what I'm doing is I'm standing backwards and downwards, yeah, and try that. If you're not doing a slide version of it already.
So my knees are locked.
Knees locked, hips forward.
You think that you're straightened up by putting the hips forward.
Exactly, yes, because most people think, oh, I must straighten up, and then one is overdoing it, isn't it? And one can only hold it for so long before one goes back down again, yeah? We want to actually create a situation of rest. The situation of rest is when the back is as long and as wide as it could be, yeah? And our main objective just now is not to interfere with that nice breathing mechanism. Like if I place my hands where the floating ribs are just now, yeah, what you actually find is that there's hardly any movement, yeah? Now what I'm going to do just now, I'm going to adjust your posture, yeah? I'm going to adjust your posture to a point where you're standing in alignment, yeah? It's going to feel very strange, be warned, because the good posture feels very strange to start off with. It goes against habits of a lifetime, yeah? So in order to see the whole view, the main idea is that if I was to throw a perpendicular from the back of Pauline's ears, it should fall down onto her hips and onto her ankles, yeah? And the center of gravity really should be here, just around where the ankle is. But just now, I would say that the center of gravity is more towards the front of the feet. Would you agree? Yeah? Which is a little bit of a telltale of pulling back and downwards. Now, if I'm going to get you to stand in alignment, yeah, and for that perhaps we want a whole view in a profile, yeah. So if I was to get you to stand in alignment, it would feel very strange, because if you can turn a little bit this way perhaps and walk towards this spot here, so we have more space here. That's it. About here. Okay, a little bit turning towards the wall here. Yeah, let your left foot go back a little bit. That's good. Yeah, and have a slightly bigger base between your feet. That's good. Now, if back and down feels right, yeah, and it's the case with most people, then in alignment would feel very much forward. So we let the hips back a little bit. That's it. And just now, the whole weight has shifted, isn't it? It's more towards where the ankles are. Now, I'd like you to breathe out. In order to be able to feel those floating ribs, that's it, coming back into action. Yeah, even if you were to breathe normally just now, you can really feel the floating ribs doing all that nice work for you. Yes?
Yeah.
But would you say that you feel as if you're slightly tilted forward?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. I feel as if I'm also kind of tensing my sort of
Yeah.
thighs a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah. Just that you're noticing that you're more aware of them.
Yeah, you're using muscles in a very different way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because your whole balance distribution has changed.
Yeah.
But of course, what is right to start off with doesn't feel right. Yeah, let's take a step. Again, when we are walking, it's very important that we are not leading with the hips. You see, the tendency to lead with the hips is just a continuation.
Should I lead with the face?
It's the head that should be leading the movement. Yeah.
Yeah.
For the rest to follow.
Yeah.
Yeah. We let the head lead the movement. We let the back lengthen and widen. So we are nice and light when we are not losing all these good breathing. Yeah. And if you want to walk faster, we can stretch the legs away from the back. You know, the tendency usually is to throw the hips forward. Yeah, let's change direction so you don't get dizzy. Head is leading and not leading with the hips. Let your hips release back a little bit.
Yeah.
That's it. It would feel strange. Yeah? But would you not say that your back is feel lighter?
Definitely, yes. Yeah, it just feels odd, but it's not uncomfortable
And
at all.
stop. Alexander called this faulty sensory appreciation. Yeah, we're all used to our own way of translating physical movements into action. Yeah, it's very difficult for this reason to describe physical movements in words. And this is why Alexander teacher used the hands. Yeah, one needs a lot of explanation, of course, but without the hands you won't be able to feel what I'm talking about. Yeah, and you need yourself to sense what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so perhaps when you're on your own, you'll be able to feel it for yourself. Yeah, because this is a self-help tool.
Yeah.
And often people say that after a session, they're very much aware of the way they're moving, probably for a few days later. But that goes, yeah, it's very easy to fall back into old habits.
Yeah.
That's why I repeated instructions for my hands means that eventually you can sense the wrongdoing, because this is not about learning anything new. Yeah? In fact, it's the only technique that I know of that teaches you what not to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not learning anything new here.
Yes.
You're only learning how to not interfere with the wrong, so the right can look after itself. That's very nice and light walking. Yes? Stop. What happens when we stop? We kind of put a full stop, isn't it? We often stop and there's a second kind of stopping, isn't it? There's kind of, I'm stopping and I'm stopping. Yeah? We want to make sure that when we stop, we haven't stopped the thinking, we haven't stopped the directions giving.
Yeah.
So we're going to let the neck be free, to let the head go forward and up. Yeah, and remember, it's not a doing. Yeah, the urge to do is very strong. We are very used to do things right away, physically. Where this is all about brain thoughts. I'm only asking my neck to be free, to let my head go forward and up, to give my back this lovely opportunity to lengthen and widen. You're smiling, or you'd like to smile or to laugh. Why is
A
that?
little bit, I don't know.
Is it my accent?
No, your beautiful voice. It's just, I don't know, I suppose it's just unusual trying to kind of not be self-conscious, putting yourself in a position.
I suppose. As you know, as you can tell from my accent, I'm not from Glasgow, really.
Oh, I know that. You've been here a long time.
Yeah, I've been here for about 17 years.
And what do you think of the people of Glasgow?
What do I think of the people of Glasgow? See, when I first came here from London, I thought to myself, what a lovely bunch. What a nice, friendly, kind people. And you see the fact that they always let you choose your window before you're leaving.
What does that mean? He was making me laugh.
Pick a window.